Okay, we're going to bring on another member of our Power of Eight group, Jennifer Sager. And I've known Jennifer for a number of years, over a couple of decades. We met each other. She was a client of mine, so we had a client relationship, which was an honor for me. And we're going to get to know Jennifer. Introduce Jennifer Sager, who is another member of our Power of Eight group.
Oh, just a second. This should work. There we go. Oh, that's weird.
That's you and your higher self.
Yeah, totally. I don't know why that's come popping up like that.
I'm still experiencing this with these backgrounds too. They're really
Okay.
neat. So we have Jennifer Sager and we have her higher self there backing her up. Jennifer and I have known each other for over 2 decades, right, Jen? Who first started as a client patient relationship for many years. I was honored, and we became, well, we are neighbors. We lived in the same neighborhood for all these years, as well as became friends. And basically, we had energy healing and interested in alternative medicines. And I think that was what really connected us. And I introduced you to the Power of Eight group. So welcome, and let's talk a little bit about your life, about your family life, your career, what you bring to the group, your education, what your healing gifts are. That whole bundle that you are.
The whole bundle, my goodness. Let me see. Well, I'm retired at the moment.
Nice.
Have been for a number of years, which is really wonderful. But I was an English teacher, a teacher of English as a second language for many years. I also, years ago, worked with people with different disabilities, and that actually kind of got me into the teaching English. Sort of the whole. I went from working with people with mental and physical disabilities for a while, and then got kind of had the opportunity when I went abroad with my husband to teach English, and that ended up being basically what I did for most of the rest of my career, which was really interesting, meeting all those different people. But now I have a lot of time to do my different passions, so that's wonderful. And one of which is, this sort of a large part of what I like to do is got related, I guess, to energy work in some form. Right, either like the Power of Eight, which we do every week, which is a wonderful connection with all that group of people, a wonderful way to start the week. And but my own sort of personal, I guess, work that I do. I also do something called Quantum Hypnosis, which is really interesting kind of work and relates to all of this because it opens you up to your, as we call, a higher self, or a form that has more knowledge than we do, so that we can, we can access just more information, and if we allow ourselves to accept that that's possible. And so the quantum hypnosis allows people to get into a level where they're able to let go a bit more of that mind, the monkey mind, or whatever's going on that is trying to. Yeah, so that we are living a lot during the day, and we want to quiet that, and we want to access other voices, other things that are waiting there for us to give us information in different ways, if we can tune in. Like people can do that with meditation. I'm not a great meditator, but I like to do it in different ways, I guess, like the quantum hypnosis is one way, and I really, really enjoy working with people doing that. And and just I guess my own path, my own journey that I'm on, living every day in this world and trying to walk, in a very thoughtful manner, in a very conscious manner, and kind of we're all kind of struggling with everything that's going around today. So we all need to do some inner kind of connecting of some kind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine if you didn't do it, because my experience these days, I feel like I do so much and it's still chaotic energy right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it may be a sign that we're all going through something on the planet at this time. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? Can you tell us a little bit about your quantum hypnosis? Like, for people who would not be familiar with quantum hypnosis.
Right.
What does the quantum part mean?
Right. That's what people ask, because, and I would like to start with just saying that the word hypnosis has a lot of stuff around it, and these words we use, sometimes we have to be careful, as people have sometimes negative ideas of what is hypnosis, and so it's not at all this idea of being sort of put under and where you've lost your own will or something, and somebody's getting you to do something that you wouldn't want to do, or any of those kind of silly things that we see sometimes. It's really just a level of, you might call it a sort of it's just changing your brain a little bit, as we do all the time, every day. Our brain is constantly moving up and down in different levels of if people are familiar with, our day-to-day sort of mind, we call that basically beta, and these different levels. And so we want to calm the mind, the conscious mind, and so we do that with an induction. So it just allows people to be in a different state, right? Which is, it's really not anything scary. It's just changing. It's just sort of it's an intention. It's an intention to change your state, and with the guidance of the practitioner who leads you into this much more relaxed state of mind. You are then asked to just see what kind of images and things come to you, and very often a story develops that is like a dream, really, where you go in and you see images that will give you some information about something that's relevant to you. We can call them past lives, or you can call them whatever. They're like little movie clips or little bits of information, but they invariably have some meaning to you, even if it seems like you're looking at a totally different life, a totally different existence. And then people, gain some insight into what's happening for them by looking at these other images. So we do a couple of those, what people call past life sort of experiences in the first part of the hypnosis. And then the second part is what is connecting to what we're calling our higher mind, or the higher intelligence that's there that we can access. And so we come in with some questions, and I, as a practitioner, would ask the questions to the person, and they answer their own questions in a way. They connect to that higher mind, and they see what information they can get that's harder for them to access on a conscious level. We might want to wonder what's happening. We have a health issue and wondering what's happening, and on an ordinary day-to-day mind, we think, oh, I don't know, why is this happening to me? Why do I have this terrible pain in my knee, or what's happening? And we're kind of cut off for various reasons from accessing any information about that. And so as we go we're in a state where we're allowing something to come in that's going to give us a bit more information about something that can help. So
I find I think we all just get in our own way too much, and it sounds like what you do when people go into this other relaxed state, then our mind isn't taking over, and you're allowing, like you say, the higher mind to come in, and really the answers are really always inside of us. So you sounds like assist people in getting in touch with their inner self to come up with the answers they're searching for.
Basically, yeah, that's basically it. It's really, yeah. And the quantum, I guess, to talk about that, because we hear a lot about that word quantum, everything these days, but it just means beyond the normal, I guess, would be the best way to describe it, beyond our normal day-to-day kind of consciousness. So anything, so what we're doing is accessing something beyond what we would normally, be able to. So that's how I look at it. So we're accessing those other realms, or those other, that other information, and that people struggle sometimes to connect with.
I look forward to my session with you. I know we're going to set one up soon, so forward to that experience.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun for me. To do this with people who are very, very open and very, willing to kind of go there and look at all that stuff. It can be really interesting. What comes up. Yeah. And
yeah, life is an adventure. Why not explore?
Totally. And I know that you work on the astral. Sorry, what was it? I'm trying to think of the word there. You work with the records, the Akashic.
Oh, Akashic records.
Yeah. And I see a big similarity with that. I mean, you're accessing that information that's coming from, from wherever, right? That's not, that's something that's available to us if we know how, or if we have the trust that information is accessible. Yeah. So it's a just maybe a different route.
Yes.
In some ways.
Yeah. Right? I think we develop along our spiritual path and get connected to different things that those are our gifts. We all have them. And I think once we start to use them, we start to explore them. And it's like a muscle. It gets stronger.
Totally.
It is amazing work when you step into that. And So how would you relate that to energy medicine then?
You mean the quantum hypnosis?
Yeah, like you became interested in energy medicine. Power of 8 group is sending intentional.
Right. Well, one of the things that we usually do within the quantum hypnosis session is I suppose you'd call it a form of energy work, where we scan the body, and we ask the higher mind or what, that consciousness to come in and to look and see what is there that might need some assistance, some healing, or some energy given to it, right? So there is that part of the session that is definitely a little more focused on energy work. Where we look at the body and see what might need some assistance. Basically, yeah. So it's all related.
It is. Well, everything is energy,
Yeah.
I'm not a physicist, but energy cannot be destroyed or created. It's always just transformed. So there's chemical energy, there's potential energy, there is thermal energy, there's water, there's so many conductors of energy. And really, when you look at the human body, that is what are all made of. We're made of water, electricity. That's why you get a heart electrocardiogram. Our brain is neurons. They're chemical messengers that make the whole body work. So energy is everything. So when we connect into that energy field, there are so many different kinds of energy that
that's right. That's right. Yeah, and we're emitting energy all the time, and we're sending out a field of energy that connects with other people, that ripples out and has its effect in the world.
Well, thoughts are energy.
Yeah.
Well, thoughts,
Yeah.
actions, yes, intentions. And so
Yeah.
you came into the Power of Eight group. I'm going to let you tell me.
Was it a few? Is it a few years now? Maybe
at least I'm thinking 2021.
Yeah, I had heard about Lynn McTaggart's work a number of years before, and I did read. I know I read The Field years ago, her other book, and I probably read the Power of Eight. I'm pretty sure I did. I certainly was very aware of the concept.
Mm-hmm.
And and she talks a lot about how they came to that number, and how they arrived at the idea of a group of people putting their energies together and sending it out. And I was fascinated by that, and I had in the back of my mind for a long time that I'd love to be part of a group like that. And then when you invited me, it was just like, wow, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Just perfect. Because it's such an amazing thing, just getting people together. We were talking earlier on the group about having people join, and what might be sort of a requirement, or what would be the kind of person that might be good, that would enjoy it, or that would be a great person to add. And I'm just thinking that just the intention of wanting to be with a group and send out your energy, and being aware that you have that kind of energy that can be sent out with the intention of helping other people. I don't think you need a lot more than that.
No,
Because I don't feel like I have very much any special qualifications or training in any of these things. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants, really, and it's just so helpful within the group to get that feedback from people, and hearing what other people pick up when they tune in to when we all tune into this person's energy. And it helps me so much to know that what I am sensing often gets some confirmation from other people, and so it helps to build and my belief in my ability all the time. I mean, we all have a little bit of doubt, right? That we deal with, because this stuff is a little bit off it's a little bit what we call woo woo. So we have that it's hard to get, I think we all suffer to some degree from our self-doubt.
Well, what is it called? It's called the imposter syndrome.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, that's right. Something like that. Yeah, like, who am I to think that I can do this, right? What the heck am I? Do I think I'm, something special or whatever?
Yes, we are. We're all special. Every human being is special, and every human being has the capacity to. It's just another, sensory. Intuition is something we can't see or touch or feel or hear or taste. Intuition is just something that, I think we're discouraged from developing, because we are in a world where the left brain is valued more to, be trained in school and have science. And now they're coming to realize that energy is science. It's it's becoming
Oh yeah, it's
so
definitely
woo-woo anymore.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope that's not such a strange concept anymore. And I think people have, especially over the last number of years, for various reasons, been more open to some of these sort of concepts that have been poo-pooed over the years, or even, even very, even tried to suppress, right, for a long time. So it's not so strange anymore to hear, about people talking about things like their intuitive, sort of gifts and stuff. And we certainly all do have them. So it's good that we talk about this and allow people to think of how how are they in each day, how do they could start thinking about how do they connect with their intuition, and realize that they are doing it probably quite a bit. right? Without maybe not being that conscious of it, but we're walking around and we're in that our own energy field, and we're sensing things, and we're aware of a lot more than we're probably consciously thinking of, you know. So we're just always surrounded by our own energy and other people's energy intermixing, and just so it's good to think about how are we connecting to being more conscious of connecting to our intuitive parts of ourselves, giving that a bit more credibility.
Yeah, the term used a lot, thrown around these days, is an awakening. When you wake up, meaning you become more aware, right? So,
That's
like
right.
2020, when we're all in lockdown, the whole world kind of woke up because you had to be more aware so that you didn't get sick. You had your awareness. So I believe that in the last 5 years, people have really been waking up because they have allowed their consciousness to become more aware of even just washing hands so you don't get sick. Right? And having that fear of dying made everybody really wake up. And then, as time passes, then they forget, and then they can go back to sleep again, right? And then the outside world is trying to keep everybody awake with all the chaos going on. It's hard to go back to sleep because the world is in such an uncertain place. The only thing we have to be certain about is ourselves, right?
Right.
Do you better be awake so that you can, hang on.
And I really feel that is the reason why we are going through this at this time. Is it's allowing us to really shake everything up, and to shake up our awareness, and to look at things differently, and to realize some things that we have been asleep, we have been very unconscious, and just allowing things to go on without really thinking, giving much thought to a lot of stuff, as if it's all on automatic, and now we have to take a bit more responsibility for ourselves, for sure. I mean, that's really what we can only do, is just be responsible for our own self and our own energy, and what we're putting out and adding to the field, right? So if we even personally can just keep ourselves calm and keep ourselves centered as much as possible, and in a lighter frame of mind, and try and look at things in a lighter frame of mind, because there is always that side. There's some really funny stuff going on. There's some really beautiful stuff going on. It's an amazing time of change.
Yes. I think we're exactly where we're supposed to be. It's all part of the divine plan. Yeah. Can you tell us, describe a challenging past health issue that you may have ever encountered and how you overcame it?
Let me think. I've really been very blessed with a pretty good health overall. I haven't had too many. One of the things I guess would come up would be a when I was younger, and I'd met my husband, and we were trying to get pregnant, and I discovered that I had a chromosomal abnormality that was causing issues in that way. Mostly, it's called. Now I'm blanking on the name, but it's a chromosomal abnormality that causes different issues for, in this case, women who don't mature in certain secondary sexual characteristics. So I'm quite small, and women who have this situation often need to take extra hormones and things. I haven't never had to do that. My situation was always a little more I guess what they call it a mosaic. It's not let's say severe sort of form. So it wasn't obvious for a long time that there was anything particularly different about me, except that I was just really small. And but eventually found out through difficulties with pregnancies that I had this. I got tested and found out. So it answered questions for me about that. But that was it was quite a few years of struggle, really, of trying to see what we could do in terms of different avenues. I tried IVF and something similar a couple of times, and in the end, it became pretty clear that this was not in the cards. and so that was quite a journey to go through that, and to come to the point where to be okay with the fact that this was not going to happen, and we were not, this for whatever reason. And now, over the years, I've had this question in my mind about that, and I know, and I believe now that that this is not something that I had contracted to do. I believe in the idea that we come here with a kind of a bunch of things that we want to get done, or that we have intentions to do, and that we've actually made agreements, and we've kind of come here with a lot more pre-planning than we probably like to think.
Mm-hmm.
And so as the years go by, we these things come out that we think it's just life happening or not happening in certain ways, and then, but I do believe that it's all meant to be, and that for some reason this was not what I was going to do this time. And of course, I believe in different lives, different experiences, and so this is not the only life. So it's like I've probably done that a lot before. I've probably had lots of children or experienced that, and this was not what this was about in this
Mm-hmm.
particular life. So it's helpful to look at challenges in our life in the sense that, well, what is another way of looking at this? What is the, how can we look at this in a more positive way? Or what is the upside of this happening in a sense? And the upside is that, my husband and I have been able to have an amazing life together, that has been, we've bonded over the fact that we don't have children in a sense, and also that we have so much time together. We have so much, we really connect a lot, and we're able to give that time and energy to each other. And it's been wonderful. And I don't feel that there's been a real loss in that sense, that, my life is pretty complete. My life is pretty full.
Mm-hmm.
of lots of friends and family and everything. And we like to be, we like to, when we see the children in the family, as an aunt or an uncle or whatever, our relationships, we just love to see them. But it's just not, part of what we've been doing here. So yeah, we all have our what would I say? We all have our passions and our things that are what we like to do, and it's so, I'm so grateful to have so much time to be able to do things like these different forms of energy work, and my personal exploration, and spending a lot of time with my husband in discussion, and talking about things, and just being together. So it's I'm very, very blessed. And so I think that that's important for anybody to just look at their life and look at we were talking earlier about gratitude, being grateful for whatever you have, and especially if you're going through a challenging time, at a certain moment, to look for what is going right, or what you do have, and holding on to that, and sending more energy to what you want, and to what you, and being grateful for what you already have.
Mm-hmm. Gratitude. It is so important. We're not all meant to bring children into the world, but I think the work that you did, you've helped many children, people with disabilities. That's amazing. Sometimes when you have your own family, you don't have enough energy to work with people like that. And, sometimes, yeah, we're just not meant to have that. And it just sounds to me like when we expect growing up that that is what we're going to do, get married and have a child, and that doesn't come to fruition, you do have to go through that grieving process of, being maybe sad that you aren't able to conceive, and all the different stages of grieving. And it sounds like when you come to that stage of acceptance and realize that, well, you accept it and realize that there are other things in your life that you're meant to do here. And it seems to me like you're doing a good job of that. And you're kind of like mothering people when we're sending intentions for healing in this group too, right? We're taking care of people. And that is all part of being a mother. And end our session today. What would you like to tell us about what you like to do when you're not doing work, let's say? What are some of the fun things Jennifer does?
Anyway, let me think. I really like to read. Nice. So that for me is a lot of fun. I pretty much have to read every night to go to sleep. And I read a lot of different things, although I'm kind of got a thing about, murder mysteries, which is funny because I think it's the mystery part that's so interesting. They're usually not the very heavy ones, the sort of really gruesome or ones or anything. They're just more. It's more about the puzzle and more about the characters and the situations, and just that I find those really really interesting. And but I read a lot of other stuff, like like something like the Lynn McTaggart's work that would come my way. I would read a lot of that stuff. Over the years I've read a lot about those kinds of subjects, about out of body experiences, or all all those related paranormal experiences and things have fascinated me for a long time. So I do read various things about that, and I get out and I have an electric bike that I like to get out on, and also do some walking. Oh, I also do a bit of volunteering at a thrift shop, which is one of my passions is clothes. I love clothes, and working in a little secondhand clothes shop is quite fun because I can interact with the people that come in and talk to them about what they're looking at, and people love to talk about clothing. Actually, it seems like it's a really fun thing to do, when they come in and they find things that are like really maybe $5, $10, $15, it's very reasonable. And they find a fun thing that just gives them, and you should see their faces. They're just, they walk out and they're, they've really had a lift. So their energy has changed, and they've had an interaction, because we like to talk to people that come in, and we like to help them. We have a couple of changing rooms. A lot of places don't have changing rooms anymore, so you can't come in and try things on. It's a lot, it kind of seems less personal, even in some of the, even if you don't order online and you walk into a little shop, you may or may not get much personal sort of attention. And people really love that, and they need that. Right? They need that interaction, that social stuff. I know there's some people that come in, and it's really a big part of their social interaction, because they're quite isolated for various reasons, and they come in and they get that. They get some contact, and it's really important for them. Mm-hmm. So I see it as beyond just the fact of buying and selling, or just sort of selling stuff. There's a lot involved in in being there, and I see it as a whole fun thing and a really necessary thing to have those interactions with people. They come in and just smile at people and say hi, and how you doing, and if they're open to that, then you can have an interaction, and it's really important.
Where will I find you?
Oh, at the shop?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's in James Bay.
In James Bay.
Yeah, it's called The Closet.
And if people wanted to contact you for quantum hypnosis, this that you do, we'll put a link below.
Okay.
Can contact you. And if you do this online, or is it one-on-one?
Yeah, both.
Great.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So we'll put a link below if anybody is interested in a quantum hypnosis. I know I'm going to be experiencing one in the next short time here, and I'm looking forward to it. And so, anything else you want to add?
I'm trying to think. I'm not sure. I think we covered quite a few bases here.
Well, I would like to, I'm surprised you haven't spoken about your beautiful expression of voice.
Oh,
yes. That is no part of you, right?
Actually, I was thinking when we were talking earlier about the situation with children and stuff, that I wrote a song about not having children, and it really, really helped. Like for me, my voice has been a very, a big part of my healing, and I've been able to do things like maybe write a few songs that have helped me to grieve. When I wrote a song about my mother quite a few years ago. She died in a sudden car accident many years ago, and I find music so amazing that way. I've been so it's also been a big journey for me. It's a whole another aspect of myself that it's hard to put out in some ways in the public. It's a very our voice is such a personal thing. It's such an intimate thing, and so putting that out has been something that I've loved to do, and also been so difficult to do over the years. And so that's been a journey for me. And I feel like I'm in a much better place right now about that, about being able to offer that in a more spontaneous way. I took an intuitive singing class recently that was wonderful, that helped me give me some more confidence about just doing that, opening my voice as, and just allowing what to come out rather than sitting down and thinking, okay, I have to perform a particular song with these words and these chords or whatever, being really quite restricted by all that. Mm-hmm. I found that hard over the years for me somehow. I guess it felt like I was trying to do something, like I was trying to learn like a complicated language that I just could never really get. But now I realize that I can just use my voice in a very sort of open, pure way without having to have a lot of angst about it.
Well, on that note, Jennifer, our meeting with Jennifer Sager abruptly ended, but I wanted to do a follow-up because since our meeting, I had a session with Jennifer. And I just want to relay a little bit about my experience. I had my 10 questions for her, and we went into the process, and it was very interesting for me because it took me to a place where I started to feel the feeling of what my higher self or my bigger self was really all about. And it revealed that I was a woman who was putting foster children into homes from an orphanage. And I really felt this love. I was childless myself at this stage in this lifetime. And what I felt was this overwhelming sense of love for children that were needing homes and wanting to love them all. And so the younger children would be adopted easily, but the older children seemed to stay in the orphanage and became a family. And then I proceeded to open up a school for all these children because I wanted to take them all home. And what I really got out of the session was the healing of, and the feeling of taking care of children. And that is something that lives inside of me. And now I know that feeling. And so I think that's my personal experience of quantum hypnosis. But when we can feel things, we can heal them. And so this session for me was one that I feel I have the feeling energy that I can put out to the world to heal all those children in the world who don't feel like they have family, but they do. They have a global family that loves them, and I just wanted to share that experience with you. And if you are curious about quantum hypnosis, I strongly encourage you to contact Jennifer and have a session with her, because when we can feel things, it has a profound impact on what we can do with those feelings. So thank you again, Jennifer, for talking about your gifts as a quantum hypnosis healer. And I thank you for my session. It was wonderful. Thank you again.